Imagine for a moment that everything you perceive around you, the colors, the sounds, the shapes, isn't exactly what it seems. What if what we believe to be solid and unquestionable, like the walls around you or the floor beneath your feet, were just a projection, something that reflects what's deeply rooted in your mind? Have you ever stopped to think that the material world, with all its rules and limitations, could be a construction of our own consciousness? The idea seems challenging, doesn't it? After all, we're used to trusting our senses, believing that what we see and touch is the ultimate reality. But what if all of this were just a screen? A kind of surface that mirrors what we carry inside, our beliefs, emotions, and deepest thoughts. Maybe you've never asked yourself this before, but over the centuries, many sages and philosophers have questioned what truly makes up reality. And more recently, scientists have started to investigate the same question. This raises an intriguing thought. What if the reality we experience isn't what it seems? Today, we're going to explore a fascinating idea, that the reality you experience may not be as solid as it appears. Since ancient times, philosophers and sages have suggested that the world around us is, in fact, a projection of the mind. However, what was once just a philosophical speculation has gained new dimensions with the advancement of science, especially with the discoveries of quantum physics. Science shows us that the universe is a much more fluid and dynamic place than we ever imagined. In quantum physics, it was discovered that the particles that make up matter, those that form everything we see around us, don't behave in a fixed or predictable way. Instead, they exist in a state of potentiality until they are observed. This means that, in a way, reality only becomes concrete when someone perceives it. In the same way, spirituality has been teaching us for centuries that what we see in the outer world is a reflection of what we carry within. Our beliefs, emotions, and thoughts shape what we experience in our day-to-day life. And this connection between what we believe and what we perceive is what we're going to explore today. So, what does this mean for you in your everyday life? If the reality you see is shaped by your mind and your consciousness, does that also mean you have the power to transform it? This is the big question we're going to try to answer together. To understand how reality can be shaped by consciousness, we need to start with science, specifically quantum physics. This field of science challenges our traditional understanding of how the universe works, showing that on the most fundamental level, the world is made of energy, not solid matter. One of the most revealing experiments in this field is the famous double-slit experiment. In this experiment, scientists discovered that subatomic particles, like electrons, can behave both as particles and as waves, depending on whether or not they are being observed. When there's no observer, these particles exist in a state of potentiality. In other words, they're not in any specific place, but rather in many places at the same time, like a wave spreading out. However, as soon as they're observed, they collapse into a specific position, like a solid particle. This suggests that observation, or consciousness, plays a crucial role in shaping reality. If we take this idea into everyday life, we can start to question, does the reality we perceive only take form because we're paying attention to it? Is the way we see the world around us actually shaping the experiences we have? Quantum physics gives us a clue that reality isn't fixed, but rather malleable, and that consciousness, our perception and attention, directly influences what happens in the material world. This leads us to a powerful idea. If reality can be influenced by observation, what else in our lives can be shaped by the way we perceive things? Do our beliefs about what is possible or impossible, about success or failure, also directly affect what we experience in our daily lives? This concept that observation can change reality opens the door to a new understanding of the mind's power. We're not just talking about physics, but also about how our beliefs, emotions, and thoughts might be constantly shaping the world around us. When you look at your life, at the things that go right or wrong, at the obstacles you face, it might be worth asking yourself, Am I creating this reality based on the beliefs I carry inside me? And if the answer is yes, that means you have far more power than you might think. The first step is recognizing that your consciousness, your thoughts, and your perception directly influence your reality. From that point, we can start exploring how changing that perception can, in fact, change reality. Just as modern science does, ancient spirituality has been teaching for millennia that what we see in the physical world is actually a projection of our inner world. In spiritual traditions, this idea is often expressed as the notion that the outer world is an illusion, or Maya, as it's called in Hinduism. According to this view, what we perceive as material reality is just a screen, a representation that reflects our deepest thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. This connection between the inner and outer worlds is central to many spiritual traditions. The concept is simple. What you experience in the physical world is a direct reflection of your mental and emotional state. When you're filled with negative thoughts, fears, and limiting beliefs, this manifests in your life as obstacles, failures, or difficulties. Likewise, when you're aligned with positive emotions like gratitude, love, and trust, you tend to attract more of those experiences into your life. The convergence between science and spirituality offers us a powerful perspective. Our consciousness, composed of thoughts and emotions, is what truly shapes the world around us. If the material world is, as quantum physics suggests, a soup of energetic possibilities that only become real when they are observed, this means that our perception, how we look at the world, is directly tied to the reality we experience. Ancient spiritual traditions also suggest that it's possible to transcend this illusion of physical reality by living more consciously, recognizing that we have the power to shape our experiences. Spiritual masters throughout time have taught that by changing our mindset and emotions, we can completely change what we experience in the material world. This teaching challenges us to look inward whenever we face difficulties or obstacles in life. Instead of seeing problems as something external and unchangeable, we are encouraged to ask, what in me is creating this experience? What beliefs or emotions am I projecting for this reality to take shape? This self-reflection gives us the power to transform reality. If the outer world is just a reflection of what we carry inside, then by changing our mindset and aligning our emotions with our deepest desires, we can change the experiences we attract into our lives. This brings us to the importance of spiritual practice as a tool to access this power of transformation. Meditation, prayer, and other forms of introspection are practices that help clear our minds of limiting beliefs and negative emotions, allowing us to project a reality more aligned with our true desires. Spirituality, like science, teaches us that reality is malleable and responds to our consciousness. And by taking control of our inner world, we can transform what we see in the outer world. Now that we've explored how both science and spirituality point to the role of consciousness in shaping reality, it's time to dive even deeper, the subconscious. Often, we think we are fully aware of the decisions we make and the experiences we live. However, much of our reality is shaped by subconscious patterns, those thoughts and beliefs we've carried since childhood and that operate without us realizing it. The subconscious works like a program running in the background. It governs much of our automatic reactions, our emotions, and even our deepest beliefs about what's possible or impossible in our lives. These patterns were formed over years, based on past experiences, family teachings, and even cultural influences. As children, we absorb many of these beliefs without questioning them, as our brains at that stage lack the critical filter to distinguish what's true from what's not. Thus, as we grow older, these subconscious beliefs silently shape our reality. If you subconsciously believe that you don't deserve success, for example, this may manifest as self-sabotage in your attempts to reach your goals. Similarly, if your subconscious is programmed to expect difficulties or failures, Your mind will seek out situations that reinforce these beliefs, creating a reality where these difficulties seem inevitable. This brings us to the idea of subconscious projection. If our subconscious thoughts and beliefs are constantly shaping our perception of reality, then what we see around us is a direct reflection of those internal patterns. Often, we face repeated challenges, not because the external world is conspiring against us, but because our subconscious programs are projecting those obstacles into our lives. But if the subconscious can create these obstacles, it can also be reprogrammed to create a different reality. By becoming aware of these limiting patterns and questioning them, we begin to dismantle the invisible barriers that prevent our progress. And this reprogramming of the subconscious is essential for changing the reality we experience. There are many tools available for this reprogramming, such as positive affirmations, hypnotherapy, visualizations, and meditation practices. These techniques help replace limiting beliefs with new ones that support a more expansive reality, aligned with what we truly desire. Once these new patterns are installed, the subconscious begins projecting a new reality, bringing opportunities and experiences that once seemed out of reach. The key to transforming your reality, then, lies in reprogramming what's happening internally. By recognizing and changing the subconscious patterns that have been governing your life so far, you can literally rewrite the script of your reality. To make all this more tangible, let's use a simple analogy. Imagine that your mind is like a movie projector. The film it projects onto the screen of your life is made up of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. If the film being projected contains scenes of fear, doubt, or scarcity, that's what you'll see reflected in your reality. However, if you change the content of the film, introducing scenes of confidence, abundance, and gratitude, what you see on the screen of your life will change too. This concept can be illustrated with examples from everyday life. Think of a time when you were focused on something positive, like a goal or a dream. You might have noticed that suddenly opportunities began to arise, people showed up to help, and circumstances seemed to align to make that goal a reality. This happened because your mind, your projector, was focused on that desire, and the universe responded by bringing events and people that matched that energy. Now imagine the opposite, a time when you were filled with doubts and insecurities. You probably started noticing more obstacles, more challenges, and more reasons to justify those doubts. Not because the world out there had changed, but because your perception of what was possible was being filtered by those negative beliefs, shaping your experience. A classic example that demonstrates this power of projection can be found in the double-slit experiment mentioned earlier. At the quantum level, particles don't have a defined state until they are observed. In a way, the act of observing collapses all possibilities into a single reality. Similarly, what you choose to focus on and observe in your life affects the reality you experience. Whether through science or spirituality, one thing becomes clear. The reality you see around you is, in large part, a reflection of what's happening within you. What this means is that you have the ability to adjust that reflection. Just as a filmmaker can edit a movie before projecting it, you can edit your beliefs and emotions to change what's being projected onto the screen of your life. Now, take a moment to think about your own life. Have you ever noticed recurring patterns? Perhaps you've noticed that you face the same kinds of challenges, even when you try something new, or maybe certain obstacles seem to follow you no matter what you do. If you've ever found yourself wondering why certain situations seem to repeat, it could be that your subconscious patterns are projecting those scenarios repeatedly. Now I invite you to reflect. What are the beliefs you hold about yourself? What are the stories you mentally repeat about what's possible in your life? Could these beliefs in some way be limiting your opportunities? And if that's the case, how would your life change if you shifted those beliefs? Think about a desire or goal you have. It could be something big, like a career change, or something more personal, like improving your relationships. Now ask yourself, do I truly believe this is possible for me? Or do you feel like there are invisible barriers preventing that desire from manifesting? If the answer is yes, you're not alone. Most of us have subconscious patterns that limit our potential. But the good news is that by becoming aware of these beliefs and consciously making an effort to change them, you can start seeing transformations in your life. Have you ever wondered what would happen if, instead of seeing obstacles, you began focusing on opportunities? How might that change the way you experience the world around you? Now that we've explored how consciousness shapes reality, you might be wondering, how can I apply this in my life? Fortunately, there are several simple and accessible practices that can help you transform your beliefs and, consequently, your reality. I'm going to share some effective techniques that you can start using right away. The first practice is the use of positive affirmations. Affirmations are short, powerful statements that you repeat to yourself, projecting what you want to experience. They work because when repeated consistently, they help reprogram the subconscious with new beliefs. For example, if you want to attract more success into your life, a powerful affirmation might be, I am deserving of all the success the universe has to offer. By repeating this every day, especially when you wake up and before you go to sleep, you're training your mind to accept this new reality. Another powerful practice is creative visualization. This technique involves closing your eyes and imagining, in detail, the life you want to live. The key here is to engage all of your emotions. It's not enough to just visualize. You need to feel what it would be like to live that reality. If you're visualizing an achieved goal, like a promotion at work or a healthy relationship, feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as if it's already happening. The more real this visualization feels in your mind, the more your subconscious will begin to accept it as possible and project it into your life. Meditation is also a crucial tool in this process. Through meditation, you slow down your thoughts and create space to observe your mental patterns more clearly. By meditating, you can access deeper states of consciousness, such as the alpha and theta states, which are ideal for reprogramming the subconscious. In this state, you're more open to new ideas and beliefs, making the mental transformation process even more effective. Additionally, meditation helps bring more presence into your life, allowing you to notice more quickly when you're being guided by limiting beliefs. Another practical tip is to keep a gratitude journal. Gratitude has the power to shift your vibration and attract more things to be grateful for. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can range from big things, like health and love, to small things, like a good cup of coffee or a pleasant conversation. By focusing on gratitude, you start attracting more positive experiences into your life because your mind is programmed to look for what's good around you. Finally, an important practice is conscious self-observation. Pay attention to your daily thoughts and how you react to situations. Whenever you notice a negative pattern, such as thoughts of doubt or fear, pause and question it. Is this thought helping me create the reality I want? If the answer is no, replace it with a thought more aligned with your goals. These practices are simple yet powerful, and when done consistently, they can reprogram your mind and, as a result, transform the reality around you. When you recognize that the reality around you is shaped by your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions, you begin to understand the true power you possess. Life doesn't have to be a series of events that happen to you. On the contrary, you have the ability to consciously create the reality you want to live. This transformation process begins internally. It's not about changing what's outside, but about adjusting what's inside you, your mental patterns, your emotions, and your deep beliefs. By doing this, the world around you begins to align with these internal changes, Opportunities that once seemed distant now seem possible, and obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become easier to overcome. The truth is, you are the architect of your own reality. At every moment, you are painting the picture of your life with the brushes of your mind. The power to transform what you see in the external world lies in your willingness to change how you see yourself and how you interact with the world around you. So, what will you do with this power? How will you use your consciousness to create a life that truly resonates with your deepest desires? Remember, reality is not static. It is moldable, fluid, and responds directly to the quality of your consciousness. By aligning with this truth, you become the protagonist of your own journey, capable of manifesting a life that not only reflects your dreams, but also the essence of who you truly are. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to take the next step. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that helps you expand your consciousness and transform your reality. By subscribing, you become part of a community of people who are committed to their own growth and who understand the power they have to create a more meaningful life. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment with your ideas, experiences, and insights on how consciousness shapes reality. Have you noticed recurring patterns in your life? What practices do you use to reprogram your mind and create the reality you want? Finally, share this video with friends and family who might benefit from this message. Together, we can spread this knowledge and help more people become aware of the power they have to transform their lives. Thank you for watching and for being a part of this journey. I'll see you in the next video.